And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Hey everyone and welcome. Let me take you back before Brexit. And the reasons for Brexit being brought in were mass uncontrolled immigration and being told what we can and can't do by unelected bureaucrats in the EU. Among other things, one of another big reasons was because the EU kept floating the idea of an EU army and then denying it and calling everyone that mentions it a conspiracy theorist. Well, it seems that the conspiracy theorists are being proved right again, as we already saw. And because the British people have effectively given the two-finger salute to the EU's EU army and its centralisation of power by voting for Brexit and getting us the hell out of there, even though we were stabbed in the back by our government and our leaders, who then immediately went on from leaving the EU to making a deal with the EU. Well, it seems that the EU are desperate to get the UK to join their EU army, so much so that they're trying to do it through the back door. Now, let me say at this point, I will never, ever fight for an EU army. Whether I'm conscripted or not, I would never fight for them. Why? Because they're unaccountable. But on top of that, it's because they do shady little tricks like this. Brussels scheming to integrate UK into EU-wide defence plan. A long-time goal for many Euro-federalists on the continent, the very concept of a pan-EU army was one of the major red flags which led to many opting to campaign to get the UK out of the transnational bloc. I would actually call it an anti-national bloc, not transnational. It does nothing to benefit the nation, does it? It appears that those in Brussels, though, are nevertheless scheming to integrate the UK into a Euro-federalist world order under a common supranational EU defence plan. In a draft recommendation voted on by Parliament on Wednesday, lawmakers in the bloc have called for Parliament to work to bring the UK into a framework for common cooperation on defence and foreign policy matters. The report suggests that this would best be achieved via what it describes vaguely as the addition of relevant provisions in the... Are we ready for the betrayal? The betrayal. This is the start of the betrayal, everyone. As you all know, we got a deal, even though none of us asked for a deal, none of us voted for a deal, and none of us wanted a deal. They had to obviously make a deal because the leaders are all Europhiles and love to be in the EU. Why, you might add? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they can get away with just getting a paycheck, doing no work for themselves, i.e. politicking, and having zero accountability for any decisions made. That's why. Well, anyway, relevant positions in the EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement, which those who penned the document believe would maximise the possibilities for EU and UK cooperation. Maximise means bring them back into the fold and tell them to do what we want them to do again. Power is what the EU is, along with all of the other major institutions. Lawmakers responsible for the document also recommend that the blocs rapidly work towards setting up a fully functional EU military headquarters. Does anyone think that this is for defence at this point? Take action for the purpose of shoring up union-wide defensive capabilities. Of course it is. Got nothing to do with attacking your own citizens and the nations around you. It's got nothing to do with that. Shh, don't say anything. As well as, and this is the kicker, as well as to implement measures to fight propaganda and disinformation campaigns in the Union and its neighbourhood. Neighbourhood meaning the nations around the European Union. So they want to inflict their power on nations that aren't in the EU and also inflict their power inside the Union. Propaganda and disinformation campaigns in the Union and its neighbourhood effectively means criticism and opposing ideas. At this point, Europe, if you stay inside the EU, you deserve everything you're going to get, because this looks like it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Now, Barrage has chipped in on this. He said it wanted its own police force, which it's got. It wanted its own independent foreign policy without anyone being able to veto it within the club, which it's looking to do, and it already wants its own army, air force and navy. So he was right. They said this last year, Nigel Farage, the Brexiteerian chief, in regards to the ambitions of the EU, and he's not been proven wrong, has he? So it seems that the EU are desperate to get us into this EU army, and the main reason for it is because, no offence Europe, but your militaries are shite. Ours is the only competent military fighting force in the entirety of Europe, in my honest opinion. Let me know if you think I'm wrong on that. But without us, Europe and the EU is nothing. We don't need them. They need us. I just worry that our Europhile leaders, the ones that are quite happy to just sit and be given orders, those people are just going to rush to this as a way of getting back in the EU without actually being back in the EU, even though we're already back in the EU without actually being back in the EU. It's a joke what was happening at the moment, but let me know what you think, everyone. I'd like to know your opinion on this. Stay sane, everyone. See you on the next one.